What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I just want to get right into it. There's been quite a few updates to Nick Rekieta's case. As the time of your, by the time you're seeing this video, Nick will have most likely bonded out on $50,000 bail, 100,000 total to include his wife. After the full list of reasons that they got locked up were revealed today, including what appears to be some sort of escalation in the charges. Disclaimer, again, I fully believe, I hope that this is a wake up call. I don't, like, I fully expect if the situations were reversed that Nick would be live streaming my humiliating bail events. It's just part of the ugliness of all of this covering news stuff. But Nick is still what I think is one of the brightest talents in the LawTube community. YouTubers that are content creators that cover legal cases, who just hit a temporary, hopefully, speed bump. Unfortunately, this looks like it's a lot more than just a little oopsie doopsie. After all the full details were released this morning, he may not be getting out of this without serving time, as it looks like he is facing somewhere around 27 years in prison. If he received the maximum in concurrent sentences. As far as I know, I guess I don't know anything about his, potential criminal history, but I'm going to go ahead and assume this is the first time he's ever been pinched for this or anything like this. So, I mean, if he lives in Minnesota, it's a Democrat state largely. I don't think he needs jail time. I think he needs rehab. I hope he doesn't get put in jail and separated from his 5 children. I hope, maybe he gets sentenced to mandatory rehabilitation, something of that nature. But I just want to go over the facts of what we found out this morning during a bail hearing, and really the true magnitude of what he seems to be facing. It's not great. Definitely worse than what I thought it would be yesterday. So this morning, while we were live streaming, to get you to know how he got arrested, we now know how he got arrested, and that is, now I'm being careful. I don't want to share any personal private information, so you'll have to take my word on some things, but I feel like you all know that I cover things truthfully. By the way, if you enjoy my coverage, please do follow or subscribe. We'll talk about this more in depth at 5:30 Eastern on my live stream today, too. Essentially, back on May 16th, 8 days ago, somebody literally walked into the local police station and reported a concern for the safety of Nick's kids, 5 kids. The person that did this was what is called a mandatory reporter. Now, these are people, they're in the clergy, they're local welfare agencies, they're maybe law enforcement. In this particular case, mandatory reporters are a person who knows or has a reason to believe a kid is being mistreated, as defined by this, or has been mistreated in the preceding 3 years, shall immediately report to local welfare agency responsible for assessing investigations, the report, PD, social services, all this kind of stuff. So the reason this looks obviously worse now is there has been a charge of child endangerment for both him and his wife. And who knows, from what I understand and I read, like, obviously I'm not a lawyer, but we know once, the protective services get involved, there are many cases where things get much worse. We've seen cases where this agency, the protective services, get involved with kids that identify as a different gender than they were than they were born, and they've separated them from their family members. This happened in the United States not that long ago. Child and Family Services has a terrible record. I want to believe that they do some good out there, I know how the internet works to where like only the negative stuff gets kind of put up on top, but I'm going to take this off the screen so I can read you. So essentially, the report reads on May 16th, 2024. So from a timeline perspective, it's important to point out that this is almost a full week or almost a week before the meltdown stream that everyone's referring to. So it did not happen before the meltdown stream. Someone in his local community went to the police department, and the description says, I have a mandatory reporting issue I want to speak to an officer about. And he talked about the kids. Now, certainly, this YouTuber and his wife have 5 children. If they're up all night slamming rails of the powder, the ceiling cat stuff, and having swinger parties, I don't know exactly how well you're parenting. One of the individuals close to the situation made the claim that Nick would stay up until 3, 4, 5 in the morning drinking, which we know because we would see him live streaming. And then he would sleep for an hour or two and then put his kids in the car and drive around. Now, that's just a claim, but maybe if that was happening, that's why they showed up. And if that's true, that's truly, truly concerning. You know, you're obviously, if you're completely blotto out of your gourd, a 2-hour nap does not sober you up. That's not how it works. You need many hours. So this document comes out. We now know that literally somebody walked in because they feared for the safety of his children. It wasn't like an anonymous, internet call or a troll or anything like that. Now let's get to the bail hearing where we found out exactly what they were caught with, because it's more than just a little bit. And the charges and why they are the way they are. So I watched both of these hearings this morning. I care less. I mean, I'm going to comment less on his wife. His wife is not a public figure. It's not part of the story. However, she got really unlucky with that mugshot. I guess Nick's doesn't look great either. Hopefully, if I'm ever in the situation where I get a mugshot, I'll have the wherewithal to smile in it, because I'll know it'll be all over the internet. Anyway, so they met this morning where it was revealed that he had an enormous amount of product on him. First charge, 25 grams or more of that powder. I guess I've read somewhere on the internet it was 26.67 grams. So that's a full ounce. You're talking about thousands of dollars in product. Thousands of dollars in powder. It's not a little amount. I'm unfamiliar with this product. It's never been something I've really spent a lot of time around in my life. But I do know you generally purchase it in the half gram or gram variety. Most people are not buying 150 grams of it, at a time. But apparently Nick was and had this in possession at the time that the PD showed up. He also had weapons in the house, which is, as far as I'm concerned, it shouldn't be against the law because that's not in the Second Amendment. But anyway, in Minnesota, it's illegal if you're using to have these things. I guess I can understand the spirit of why they might do that. But also, both husband and wife got charged with endangerment of a child. That is a, quote, gross misdemeanor with a 364-day maximum sentence. The ammo and stuff is 364 days. The powder, 25 years. 25 years. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer. I have certainly covered many such similar cases. I would be shocked if he got anywhere near that, given his first-time offense and he wasn't dealing. And, but I will say, what I read is we won't know if the protective services have additional escalators to apply to the family, because they'll interview the kids. They're going to get in there, going to see, did the kids get into it? Did something happen? There could be additional charges. They could take his kids away, which would be obviously terrible for both. The other individual, who, again, I don't care about, this is Nick, his wife, and apparently their little side piece here. She was released earlier today. She did not have the other escalators. I don't know what she was even necessarily charged with. But she was let go this morning. Sounds like she's going down a dark path too. You know, it's tough when you see stuff, you know, like this timeline of 6 years ago, 4 years ago, current. You know, he goes from a happy-go-lucky guy. Obviously, these pictures are not in his, you know, it's not like a school photo, but you can see as time goes, you know, things get worse. He doesn't need to go to jail. He needs help. He needs rehab. You can see here he has a black eye, which happened before the arrest. People don't really know, you know, what led up to that. You see this individual here is the husband of their little side piece. He found out live that she had been arrested. It's the whole thing's a mess. And I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's a meme. If you made it this far in the video, which most people won't, like, he has some very bad friends around him giving him very bad advice. People who think it's hilarious. Look, it's the internet. People are going to crack jokes. I'm not saying you can't make fun of him, because that's exactly what he would do if the situation were reversed, right? Everybody else in LawTube is covering this. I don't want to, you know, but I think you can kind of go at it with a, you know, it's about the spirit of it. And, you know, he's out today. I'm hoping that he takes some time to reflect. I'm really hoping I don't see him live streaming for a while. I hope he gets help. He's not due back in court until August, which means he could probably put forth a really good faith effort at getting clean. The terms of his bail and bond are that he cannot consume alcohol, which is obviously a major issue for him, because that's something he does every single day practically. Obviously, he can't break the law in any other way, can't consume any other kind of powders and substances and things of that nature. I am not optimistic. You know, I'm 41 years old. I've seen addiction before. I'm not optimistic that he goes cold turkey. But what I'm hoping for is, with the 5 kids that he has, the sound kind of shame that he's going to suffer this weekend on the internet. The world loves a good redemption story, and I'm hoping that Nick can get clean. I hope that the court sentences him to like rehab or something like that, and that they don't take their kids away, because the family needs to stay together. And I hope that they can get, you know, that's best case scenario. I'm not optimistic, because I've seen addiction in real life. Generally, people don't just get clean because they get caught. They get clean because they want to. But I'm hoping for the best for Nick. I'm pulling for you. That if he needs anything, obviously he can reach out to me, and I can keep things private, obviously, that kind of stuff. Whatever he needs, Nick, whatever you need, happy to do it. I'm pulling for you, and hopefully this mistake doesn't snowball out of control. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.